Hello, Sunday Assembly Atlanta. Jared and I are checking in from Santiago to say hello and tell you we all miss you very much. And here is this month's I'm Doing My Best from Jared.
Thank you, Leah. Like she said, we're now in Santiago. We've been here for about 24 hours or a little more, and we'll be spending 2 weeks here, which is the longest we've stayed in any one place since Quito, Ecuador, back in August. For those new to the group or don't know what we're doing, we are taking a career break, 10 months off from our jobs, and slowly traveling our way around the continent of South America. We started in Ecuador, ran through Peru pretty quickly for a country as big as it is, hopped over through Bolivia, and are now inching down the coast and central valley of Chile. You say, wow, that's an awesome 10-month vacation, to which I would have to reply, and I think Leah would agree, it's not a vacation. Traveling the way we're doing right now is actually a lot of work. We're seeing some amazing things, but it takes a lot of effort and energy to do what we're doing, and just a lot of faith in ourselves that we'll be able to just keep solving every problem that appears in front of us and keep moving on and keep enjoying what we're doing here. But travel is our job. No one's paying us to do it. We're paying ourselves in the form of personal growth and self-improvement. But it's definitely work. Now, it is nice that I haven't had to serve any customers for months and months and months now. I can't say that I missed that aspect. But what's true is that little bits of daily life that we took for granted in the United States are now things that require a lot of attention and effort and energy. There's a lot of research that we have to do wherever we are. Where are we going next? How do we get there? When we get there, how do we get around? Where are we going to sleep? What are we going to eat? Can we cook at the places we are? If so, what's on offer at the grocery store? Just little things like that. Going to the grocery store itself in particular has become exhausting, because if we have a kitchen, we have to look, well, what kind of pots and pans do they have? Do they have spatulas? Do they have utensils? And then once we determine what we have to work with, we go to the grocery store and think, okay, well, what ingredients do they sell in this country? What can we make with those? It's just
the
constant.
answer is pasta and vegetables, always.
And tuna salad.
Right,
Lots of tuna salad. So just little things that you don't even think of back in the States have become just a big daily constant effort with lots of research, lots of planning. We've been here in Santiago on our second day, and instead of seeing the sights in the museum and the attractions, we figured out how to do our laundry. We figured out how to use the bus system that we haven't used it yet. We've scoured the city for working ATMs, and we've gone to the grocery store twice. The challenge, well, also a challenge through all this is that, is being cut off from everything familiar, being cut off from all of our friends in Sunday Assembly, all of our other friends in Atlanta, all the things we used to do, and just the feeling of isolation that can come from that, and just leaving ourselves on our own, being lonely. We've reached out and met some people here and there along the way. Leah's Spanish is getting better and better. Mine is still kind of functional. I can ask how much things cost and get by in a store, and that's about it. So finding people to interact with is just a challenge. the main thing that we have to stay focused on is, and we have to make a choice to do this, is to remember that what we're doing is awesome. This is something that we're never going to regret having done, that we're going to look back on for the rest of our lives and say, wow, we did that, we accomplished that, we explored a big chunk of the world at ground level, not from the organized tour, not from the 20th story of the high-rise hotel, but we were down there on the streets, inching our way along a whole other part of the world. And we just have to stay focused on that. Despite the frustrations, the problems, the irritation, the annoyances. Just one little story I'll tell for myself about this. We were in the city of Vicuña in Chile, which is right on the edge of where the desert starts turning into the more green parts of the Central Valley, and where they make all the wine and distill all the pisco. It's also the astrotourism center of this continent. If you know anything about astronomy, you know they have some really big, important observatories down here, because northern Chile has the clearest skies you're going to find anywhere on the planet. So we wanted to appreciate some of that. So in Vicuña, they have observatories where you can go and take a tour and see the stars. Getting there, getting the tickets, getting up to the observatory was frustrating in the extreme. Trying to determine which tickets we needed, which bus we were supposed to get on, and being in a pack of 20 English-speaking tourists with 60 other Spanish-speaking tourists, half of whom were high school kids, we think, yelling, running around, just feeling crowded out, feeling like, man, why am I here? I just pointed a telescope at Saturn. I've seen Saturn before. What's the big deal? Then a tour guide pointed south in the sky to the Large Magellanic Cloud. Now, if you don't know what that is, the Large Magellanic Cloud is a galaxy close to the Milky Way that orbits our own. It's like a moon of the Milky Way. There are two. There's the large and the small Magellanic Clouds. You can only see them in the southern hemisphere. Now, I'm an astronomy nerd. I mean, astronomy was my first career path choice way back in my college days. So I've read about these things, I've heard about these things. I never thought that I would see them, and then all of a sudden the guide pointed them out, and there they were, and I just stared at them for minutes on end. Just a big fuzzy patch in the sky, but I was staring at another galaxy, and I had the closest thing an atheist can have to a religious experience, just looking at this enormous grand object in the sky, that it had just never clicked to me that I was going to see this thing that I had never thought I was going to be able to see in my life. And that one moment made all of the annoyance and irritation and frustration getting up there worth it. And that has happened many times for Leah and I on this trip, and it's going to happen many more times because we still have a long way to go. In 1 month, we're going to spend the longest day of the year on the southernmost tip of a continent that you can be without being in Antarctica itself. So we're looking forward to that and everything else we see up the Atlantic coast. So I'm going to sign off for now. A quick plug, if you'd like to hear more about our adventures, you can follow my advertisement-free blog at theescapehatch.net. That's theescapehatch.net. And I post new articles every Monday, and you can see where we are, where we've been, what we're doing, and what weird little thing we had to figure out this week. So thank you guys. Hope things are going great in Atlanta. Don't burn the city down before we get back. And I'll see you then.